Here we are live.
Oh yeah, we're back. We're back.
I was just live a little bit ago, and I had to run to the restroom, and people are like wondering if I took forever in the restroom. Mark and I, when we start talking,
that was our fault, too. Wasn't it?
Yeah, we'll literally just start talking and not realize we're not live. So,
oh shit, we're not live.
No, and we'll have had some good shit too. It'll be like some good content, you know.
Really good stuff, man. So. Oh man, it's been just give you a heads up of what I've been doing. Like we opened our youth performance facility, and it's too big of a file to get on, but check out this explosiveness by my daughter. I'm really excited about this. Let me see if I get it going. I'm really kind of stupid when it comes to the internet, but shit, that's not focusing. But just Alan saw it. It's pretty cool. But we have a lot of good things going. We got some D1 linebackers. It's been fun. So I'm in a great mood because I spend 5 hours a day coaching kids. That's really awesome. Cool. So I'm ready to rock, ready to talk about what's going on. And that's kind of about what Alan and I are trying to put across. And it's not about anything, chauvinistic or anything that's belittling to women. Obviously, both of us are straight up simps for our wife, like our wives. We're not in those kind of relationships, but we're very aware of the role of females in society and how strong and awesome they can be. But it just seems like men sit back and just are scared pussies. And
that's exactly it.
And that's why, what was that drag queen thing in Texas? What was that sign in the back? Lick it till.
Yeah, it's not going to lick itself.
It's not going to lick itself. So back in the day, a dad would walk in there and literally pull his kid out of there. Like, what is going on? These parents, dudes included, are walking their kids in there. And I'm not one to shield my kids from reality, but that's grooming. That's crazy stuff. And I think that's what has been done with the feminist movement, with the anti-male movement, with the toxic masculinity movement, is we've made it where cultural values, classical values, shielding children from, you don't shield them from the fact that sex exists, but to take them into a sexualized place where you're tipping, you're putting dollar bills in a drag queen's G-string.
Yeah.
And you don't.
Even if it wasn't a drag queen, like just in general, the
thing I got is they're not naked. Dude, so where I grew up in California, fully nude. So you had fully nude, and then you had the bars you could drink at. So you couldn't drink I went to a strip club once for a bachelor party, and I despised it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't understand why I'm paying a woman to tease me when I could just go home and be married. So I mean, why? You don't have to be naked to sexualize and strip. Like, strippers aren't naked. A lot of times it's just topless girls. So for them to say that, well, they were fully clothed. Look, man, if you're twerking, shaking your butt, and a kid's putting a dollar bill in your G-string, and I don't know, the thing is, people are like, what should we do about it? I don't know if there's a law I'd pass about it either. Like, we don't want to over legislate. We don't want the government, because then there's a slippery slope of, well, what if the government thinks that, me being in a posing trunks is child abuse? So it's one of those where society should kind of self-police.
Well, but here's the thing.
How do you do that?
It's a bar. We already have what are kids doing at bars in general?
They got a permit, apparently, to have the bar not 21 plus for the day. I think that's a thing that you can do. So I think the rule was existing.
That's fucking crazy. But anyway, that's fucking insane.
We're going to have a field trip today at the bar.
That's just fucking.
How can you turn that on and off? Like, it's not going to lick itself is not something you put around kids. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And what we need to get to is here, hey, Dad, if that's your kid and you walk into a place and there is literally a fucking sign on there, and I don't care if it's drag queens, men, women dancing, I don't give a shit. If the sign says it's not going to lick itself and you keep your kid there, yet alone put a dollar bill in your hand, you are a fucking poor excuse for a fucking parent. There's plenty of time for kids to learn about sex, for fuck's sake. I mean, there absolutely is. It's not even just that, dude. Like, men in general are weak versions of what you and I grew up looking at as men.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, just weak shells of fucking human being. Like, people worry so much about, I think that's why, it's such a different world where people don't understand how like for those of you that don't know in the comment section, me and Mark used to go back and forth on videos talking shit on each other
You
for
won.
like two fucking for like two fucking. Of course I won because that's just
You're better at shit talking.
I'm better at shit talking than you. I mean, like
I'm not even gonna front like it was a chat. Like he just beat me. He didn't even try.
You're way better at building businesses than me. We can trade anytime you want, dude.
I don't know, man. Shit talking did well for The Rock.
He just happens to be good at building businesses and shit talking. But you and I can trade anytime you fucking feel like.
Or we could just join teams and come out with no morbidity. That sounds like a better idea.
Right. Hell yeah! There's a lot of people in the comments section that are using it right now too, dude. And I'm sure we'll talk about that because health is part of it. Like I don't want people thinking like to be a manly man, you need to be in perfect physical condition because that's not it. You should try to be strong. Like men should try to be strong. I believe that. Like emotionally, physically, it doesn't mean you don't cry. Fuck, my wife's seen me cry at fucking puppy movies and shit like that. You know what I mean?
I cry when dogs die in movies.
Yeah. Oh my god, me too. I can't watch I Legend anymore.
Oh, dude, the fucking I was watching that movie Wonder. Like I had it on the dashboard. My daughter had to watch it for a project, and I'm driving, and we're driving to a soccer tournament in Ohio. We're in Indiana, and I'm crying my ass off. I'm like, I can't stop. Because the dog died. Like I'm okay with like people dying. Like we were watching a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme last night, and everybody's dying. I'm like, this is great. A dog dies, and it's over. It's over.
People mostly deserve it, you know. Yeah. But I mean, just to be true. But like, what I'm talking about is like, we live in a society right now where like full ass grown men will watch somebody get abused in front of them in the street and not do shit. Like I'll go to jail, dude. Like I mean, like, and I know, like that's the thing. Like me and Mark have even talked about it. Like we have a bail money clause in our friendship because if something like that happens, like I'll like post bail for my ass because I will not like. I've heard people like, well, you don't want to get involved in other people's business. Let me tell you something. If I walk up on some dude abusing a woman, I would never be able to look my wife in the face again if I didn't do something. You know, like. I would never be able to look my son in the face and be like, yeah, I totally just watched that happen, or I filmed it instead. Like that's another thing too. People filming this shit and not fucking stepping in. Like at some point in time, we're gonna have to realize that society needs to actually look out for each other. And the way that society looks out for each other right now is like, don't say anything that could hurt somebody's feelings, but we'll watch people get fucking beaten up on the subway.
It's all like, filmed, and people. So the counter argument is that if you fight back or if you defend somebody, they might not want to be defended, or you might face charges yourself. And I'm good with that. You know, I'm good with that. I'm good with taking that chance because you might be saving a life. And the Good Samaritan laws are still in place in most states, like the great state of Tennessee, where you can get, you can do that. You can help people. But generally speaking, there was a guy, MMA guy, who actually helped a cop was getting overtaken by a criminal. And this guy got him in a rear naked choke, and I believe it was in Indiana, and was able to apprehend him, and he was hailed a hero. So in many cases, there's always my thing is, okay, you go to jail. Okay. Like the whole surviving just to live, I never understood that. Like even the whole, like I was reading the Meaning of Man, written by a Holocaust survivor, and they literally lived every day and went along with it. And I understand my grandfather was different. He escaped. So I have his mindset. It's probably ingrained in our brain to be assholes and not to take that. And that's probably why I was the first one speaking up against the lockdowns and stuff. But Jews were just like in World War II, if we could just survive another day. If we could just survive another day, watching their families get killed around them. But the will to survive is stronger than the will to fight. And that's what we saw. When people didn't want these lockdowns and masks because right now no one's locking down and masking. Right. They did it because they were told to. And the only ones that I've seen speaking up, a few men, are females, are suburban moms who are like, that's when it ended, when suburban moms went to school boards and was like, stop muzzling our kids. So we've gotten to a point in society where the only people speaking up, and most of the people I follow on Instagram who speak up, are female. Think about it. Female, where men are just like, well, I'm just going to go on about my day and I'm going to just stay safe and I'm going to live and I don't want any trouble. Look, man, When you don't want any trouble, that's when trouble comes and gets you, because we're losing everything. Now they're trying to go after guns. Like, and they don't even know what they're going after. Like assault, right? What the hell's an assault weapon? Like what is an assault weapon? They're making up names. Like anybody, AR does not stand for assault rifle.
It's so stupid. It's like, I posted something earlier where this guy, recently a woman found somebody like stopped an attacker, somebody attacking her child in her house with an AR-15, shot the dude dead, right? And somebody was like, well, she could have done just the same with a shotgun. Like, you guys don't even understand what the fuck. You want to blast off a shotgun inside your house when your kid's around? Like, you're fucking idiot. Like, it's like people don't understand, and it's like we as a people are a war-like people. Like, people need to grasp this.
Always been war. There's never been peace on earth. There's never been peace on earth. In the Bible, God himself literally ran around and killed everyone without goat blood on his door. Think about how fucked up that is. I'm a gun owner, but I don't own any guns that are at risk of being that they're talking about. I'm not an AR or AK. I'm an old school. I like my 22. I like my 9mm handgun. It's plenty below the capacity. If I can't kill you with 10, I can't kill you. I should not be carrying a gun. In fact, that's why I carry a revolver. If I can't get you with 6, I don't deserve to be carrying. I've played with ARs. I shot one this week. It was actually a 9mm, not an AR, but it was a rifle. And I'm a shotgun guy. I like shotguns. I love shotguns because you don't even have to aim. Like, someone comes in your house, you look at them, you point, they're dead. And you're probably going to hit 12 of their friends. So
you just got to be careful for anybody else that's around. Friendly fire.
Well, that's why I don't carry a 9mm. People make fun of me for carrying around a 22 revolver. And the reason I do is because it gets caught in the body. One reason is it doesn't go through and through. A 9mm is going through and through 90% of the time. 22 caliber gets in the body and bounces around and causes more damage. In fact, you can look at me as more of a sadistic bastard for carrying a 22. And it's this.
And I'm going to say for the record to whoever may be listening, all of mine are lost in some tragic boating accident.
Oh yeah, mine. I'm talking about what happened last week before I lost them.
Yeah, Mark and I with the same boating accident.
Fuck that. They try to take my guns. I think we're going to have war. I'm fighting.
That's another thing too. Like, I don't understand that. Like, people are talking about this as if this is a feasible thing. There are 400 million firearms in America. You want to come take all these? Like, you are literally.
Where are they going to put them? Like, where are they going to put them? Like, that's a big warehouse. My
thing is the people that are asking for these to be taken away. Why not just wear a shirt that says "future victim"?
Yeah.
Because you are literally stating that you do not own them. And I'm sorry, but if people everybody should understand, this is where the line is. I know that many people have been wondering where, and the crazy Florida people and the crazy Tennessee people. This is where you want to come try to take weapons. You're never going to make them illegal. Yeah. Like, you're never going to stop them. People will just start 3D printing these motherfuckers, as I plan to.
And so here's the thing. If you walk into the state of Tennessee, you try to take anything, like people, like, so we went to, Jason and Kara Corey. Yeah. They came, they spent the weekend with us. They're from New York. They'd never been to a shooting range. So I'm like, dude, there's one right after the gym. We'll go. It's right over there. Nicest people. So like, they're in there in the range that Kara's never shot before. Everybody's helping her. This dude comes over. My son was there. He's like, hey, if your son wants to shoot different guns, I got a 9. I got this. The guy had a case full of guns. The nicest people. These are not people who are going to commit crimes. These are people who are going to save your lives. People who you see at the shooting range, those are the people you want to arm. And I don't know where they got this no background check thing, because I have had my CCH, my CCL in North Carolina, Illinois, and in Tennessee. I have reciprocity for every state except for California, New York, and Hawaii, I believe. And because I've done all the classes, I've done all the safety tests, I've done all the certifications. So I had to get, every time I buy a gun, even with all those things I have, a clean, not even so much as a fucking parking infraction on my record. I still, every time I buy a gun, they have to run my background. And I have to sit there and wait. It takes about 20 minutes. I go to Franklin Gun Shop, over 10,000 guns in stock. Beautiful store in Franklin, Tennessee. I got to take you there, Alan. and great people too. And they run my background. I don't know where these people are buying guns without a background check, unless they're buying it on the streets of Chicago, and they're not going to follow the rules anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you're never going to take guns away from people that are worried about criminals. And I'm not talking just about criminals. Like the people pretend like the Second Amendment isn't supposed to be a dead man switch against the government. Like anybody's like, you don't need it for hunting. No, fuck, I don't need it for hunting. It's not for hunting. Like,
no, the Second Amendment says nothing about fucking hunting deer. The Second Amendment literally says, it doesn't even say anything about protecting your house. It's about taking up arms against a tyrannical government. And I love when Australians or Canadians come in on my Instagram. Like I post the video of me shooting. Yeah. And they're like, oh, I don't get you Americans. I'm like, that's why you were in camps, bitch.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then those
Australia can shut the fuck up.
They can shut the fuck up. They were literally in fucking Nazi camps. And then Californians and New Yorkers, you don't get it. Like you have higher fucking gun violence than we do. Well, they're buying it from Indiana. No, they're not. They're buying it from fucking Bruno off the street. You know, that's how it goes down. I carry, and I'm going to continue to carry. And if I guarantee you this, if shit goes down, you're going to run next to me because I'm a good guy with a gun.
Absolutely.
And these are the same people who wanted to fund the police and bring in fucking counselors. Like, who's going to protect you? And also, did you read Maj Touré's post this morning about gun control being racist? It's so, oh dude, if you go ahead, I got to read this to you guys. It's fucking great. If you guys don't follow Maj Touré from Black Guns Matter, we've become really good friends. And I'll read this, but yeah, it's actually, so his post, here's a bit of it. Before the Civil War ended, state slave codes prohibited slaves from owning guns. After President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, and after the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution abolishing slavery was adopted and the Civil War ended in 1865, states persisted in prohibiting blacks, now free men, from owning guns under laws renamed Black Codes. They did so on the basis that blacks were not citizens and thus did not have the same rights, including the right to keep and bear arms protected in the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, as whites. This view was specifically articulated in the U.S. Supreme Court as an infamous 1857 decision in Dred Scott, you guys know that, versus Sanford to uphold slavery. U.S. Congress overrode most portions of the Black Codes by passing the Civil Rights Act of 1866. The legislative histories of both the Civil Rights Act and the 14th Amendment, as well as the special report of the Anti-Slavery Conference 1867, are replete with denunciations of those particular statutes that denied blacks equal access to firearms. However, facially neutering, disarming through economic means remain in effect. So just to go down, bottom line is, thus many southern states impose high taxes or ban inexpensive guns to price blacks out of the gun market. So Maj's stance is that he wants to arm as many law-abiding black citizens as possible.
Absolutely.
And you will not see a man more supportive of that than me. I like when they ask that rhetorical question, what if all black people had guns? So my wife, we actually had that question answered yesterday. My wife is taking Thomas to a soccer field, and there's a black guy in a shirt with his gun showing. Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody cared. Every parent drove by, not one texted the other like, oh my God, did you see that black guy with the gun? And these are all white folk, man. We want good people armed. I don't care if you're fucking purple. I love seeing guns in stores because you can be like, whether they're black, you can usually tell like who the good guys are, whatever color they are. And this guy was walking down the street, gun in his holster, and nobody cared. Nobody cared.
The reality of it is, like, especially for stuff like that, I just have a hard time believing that racism is actually as big of a thing.
It's not.
Here, the most racist people I see are woke folk, like
liberal white women.
If you think I'm going to give a fuck about somebody's having their constitutional right because of their skin color, that's racist on your part. You think that I'm going to think something different because of the person's race. Therefore, you think differently about the person because of their race. Like, it's just moronic. I mean,
so guns have been around before any of the people we can really trace back to. I mean, you're talking fucking Pocahontas days, man.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, Elizabeth Warren. So I guess men can be men without guns. I mean, I'll tell you, I always carry. I'm not going to tell you when I do and don't. I'm obviously in gun-free zones a lot of my day as a coach, but you don't have to have a gun to be a man. And this is not about men. And the topic, okay, let me tell you about our video. Like, because you clicked on the topic, we have ADHD. So that's just the click topic. Like we started talking about men. That lasted about 2 minutes. And then we watched a video of my daughter deadlifting. And somehow now we're talking about guns. I don't know how we got
here's another one. A white guy saying racism isn't a big thing.
Yeah.
To me, it's, you know what? Do I think racism exists? Yes. I actually said the most racist people I see are woke folk.
Yeah.
They're racist as fuck.
Democrats are keeping racism alive because race is an issue in everything they do. Racism exists. So does, you know what else exists? Incest, polygamy, bestiality, people who believe the earth is flat. Fucking there's certain there's fish we haven't found before in the ocean. It's not prevalent. I don't think many people are seeing it in their day-to-day lives unless they're really looking for it. I don't think anybody cares. I don't think, and I mean, most of my business partners are black and they don't go around all day like, man, you know, they wouldn't serve me at the restaurant today. I've gone I go to dinner all the time with people, but I get treated no differently whether I'm with white people or whether I'm with black people.
Yeah. I mean, this dude, obviously, like, if you're looking for it everywhere, you're going to find it everywhere. And you can call me whatever you want, but like my thing is you're just a dumb bitch. You're not a dumb bitch because of your color. You're just a dumb bitch for making a statement. You know what I mean?
There's no racism there.
I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, I mean, do I think racism is a problem? I think all types of discrimination are problems. But I clearly said you just chose not to listen because, again, dumb bitch. We've already established that. You know, like, the thing is, you chose not to listen to one portion of it. That makes you stupid too. Like, I mean, I don't get it. You know?
Yeah. So, you know, the thing is, it exists. I mean, everything. Like, I've seen shit. You know, I've actually, when I first did, back before you were on YouTube, Alan, I believe this is 2012 or 2013 when Chris Jones first came on the scene. Mm-hmm. And Chris and I, obviously, to this day, are business partners, and he's one of my best friends. I love Chris. I would take a bullet for him. I would lose my life to save his. That's how much I love that man. And I remember the first time we did a video and a bunch of comments. Again, this is back in the whole Order 66 days. So how many of them were just kids in their mom's basement trolling and how much are real? And that's when I realized there's a problem. Because all I saw is N-word this and N-word that. Why would you train with that N-word? And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm deleting them because I don't want Chris being called an N-word on my channel. Mm-hmm. But I do realize that racism exists. Okay. Mm-hmm. Is it the driving factor of every issue in the country? No. No, the driving factor is we elected a fucking elderly person who's trying to kill our country, and gas is going to creep up to $10 a gallon. We're not going to be able to afford anything, and we're in a bad spot. We shouldn't be focused on race. We should really be focused on why they're pushing race at us to distract us from the real issues. And the real issues are the fact that our country's being run by fucking morons. They're either moronic, stupid, or they really want our country to fail, or a little of each.
And in order for that not to happen, like, men and women together, but men are gonna have to stand the fuck up. Like, people are too afraid of being like the whole. This is what bothered me. And Marc, people don't know this. Like, me and Marc at the beginning of 2020, we weren't actually talking. We saw that each other was actually like. Marc was brave. That's one of the reasons why I was like, hey, dude, let's, you know, and we called each other and we had a long talk. Like, I saw so many people cower. Like you don't want to get canceled. Like, so you're not going to say you're not going to say things you know are true because you don't want to get canceled. We've just become so weak as people because we're worried about what other people think that instead of doing the right thing, we'll do the thing that people tell us is right. And that's the problem. Like, right now, too many men are worried about what society thinks about them. When if you didn't fucking worry about that shit, just do the right fucking thing. Then you are the only person you got to worry about. You know, like,
yeah, I just love people. Like, I love people, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Hispanic, whatever the Latinx. Just kidding.
Latinx.
The fact of the matter is, maybe I am stupid. Maybe I am naive. Maybe I am living in a bubble. But in my world, I don't see color. And I know that a lot of people get mad when I say that, but I was raised in a predominantly Hispanic and Black community, and I grew up in that. So for me, I'm more weirded out when I'm in a community like I'm living in now and it's all white people. I'm still getting used to that because I grew up in literally the inner city of California, of LA. Yeah. So for me to be around all these, and that's why I love where I live, because the high school my kids go to is extremely diverse. And I want that because I don't want them to notice. Like, if you grow up around all different people, that's your norm. And you don't think about someone as, oh, well, that guy's Black. No, you think about, oh, that's Tom. That's the thing. Like, my kids didn't notice race even existed until probably 10. My daughter, we were walking with, we were trick-or-treating in North Carolina with a Black family, and she said, yeah, he for the first time, he noticed that, like, he's like, hey, that girl's face is different than mine. It's white. It's like lighter, brighter. And then I'm like, come to think of it, Cammie never noticed, because we never, like, we had friends over and she just knew my business partners and all my friends. And so I think if you want to make it an issue, it can be an issue. Anything could be an issue. I could be mad at the weather. It's too hot right now. Or I could, sit in an air-conditioned car. There's different things.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, to me, it's like, people are just people. Like, I mean, now, don't get me wrong. Like, there are people that, like, absolutely are stupid people who, for some reason, think that, like, you should be judged for being Jewish, or I should be judged for being Italian, or
well, you kind of should, man. World War II was really mean. Mussolini.
World War II was fucked up. It really was.
Yeah, my wife's Italian, by the way. My wife is Italian. Mm-hmm. She has a goatee to. I'm sorry.
Goatee to prove it. Yeah. Don't go there. I'm not
going anywhere near there. She's not in her office to hear me, so I'm in a good spot.
Don't go there.
Oh wow, we've gone from men to racism. Anti-Semitism, it never affected me because I never let it. But when I went to school, my parents, for a brief period of time, for about 5 years, moved to Simi Valley, California. If you heard old Ice Cube music, he's called the Valley of the KKK. That's the OJ. I think it was the Rodney King trial was there when they acquitted Rodney King. And my mom owned a cookie store in Simi Valley, California. Shit you not. Her neighbor was an actual Klansman. The guy who owned the camera store next door to the Cookie Company was a Klansman, but he liked my mom for some reason and even offered to kill her ex-husband for her. Very nice. Nazi. Some Nazis we actually became friends, believe it or not. That shows you that even Nazis can become friends with Jews. So at school, my mom wore a big Star of David around her neck. I was called shit like kike, Jew, just all the bad shit. You're going to hell, all that shit. Never really, I mean, as a kid, I'm not going to lie. I was a bit overweight. I was suicidal at times, not going to lie. It hurt. After that, we moved to the high desert, California City, California, and my mom wore her star. And we did experience some anti-Semitism. And then I moved to, the Inglewood, Culver City area. I went to Culver City High School. And to be honest with you, other than just football players calling, like, dude, I call my Black friends things I would never say on this channel. And they called me things they would never say on this channel. So in high school, the only racism we experienced was telling bad jokes. And that was, for me, that was relieving because we laughed about our differences. Oh, hey, Jew boy, you got a big nose. And I'm like, well, I'm not even going to say what I said in return, but it was hilarious. So, yeah, I mean, I did experience anti-Semitism, but who the fuck cares? That fueled me. I make more money than any of those white boys right now. Any of those Christians. All right. So I lived up to the Jewish stereotype. Like, just prove everybody wrong. Dude, if someone says you're dumb because you're Black and you're never going to make it, LeBron James just became a fucking billionaire. Not because he plays basketball, but that's what got him there. He used basketball as a vehicle to have shoes and brands. And that was his vehicle. Mm-hmm. LeBron James is a billionaire. Okay. In a racist society, woke Black folk don't become billionaires. And he's woke as fuck. Yeah, so if it was really that glass ceiling for being Black,
Well,
I don't.
there are more millionaires per capita, black millionaires per capita than white
Are you
millionaires, right?
serious?
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
don't
here's
know
the
that.
now, but the reality of what it is, like, it's unfortunate that people like Mike Jones here are caught up on the race thing, because race is a tool used by government and people in power to separate people.
Bingo.
Like, the more that they keep people like this Mike Jones dude focused on you're oppressed because you're black, instead of you're oppressed because you're just a person that's not a member of the elite. Like, don't be wrong. Are there stupid people that have low IQ that think that for some reason, because your skin color is different than theirs, that you're lesser? Of course there are. Just like this Mike
Mm,
Jones guy thinks for some reason that he should be seen as more of a victim
Mike
because he's
who?
black.
Mike Jones. Mike who?
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones. I had to
Right.
do it. Oh man.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's kind of crazy where, you are, like, you perpetuate the victimhood that you allow to be put upon you. It can either be a fuel or it can be chains. Like, I mean, the very same thing that fueled you uh, to become a success could have easily been the shackles that kept you down. You
Yes.
know.
Yes. So I want to research Futures previously. Um, he said that he's Jewish. She. I don't know what you are. I'm sorry if I misgendered. That's just such an ambiguous
Yeah.
name. So let me explain to you why I'm so pro 2A. It's the World War II. I want you to read up on how Hitler got power. And the thing is, they disarmed the Jews.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that is one of the reasons I'm so feverishly pro 2A, is because I'm a Jew. And any Jewish person who is pro mandate and anti Second Amendment is really disconnected with how our people were literally extinguished. Like, there is, I mean, good luck finding a Polish Jew. Like, we were all killed. And why were we killed? Well, because they disarmed us and because they utilized propaganda against us. Why do you think, Al and I, when you say you're anti-shot, I'm using a different word than the V word. Mm-hmm. When you say you're anti-shot, oh, you're a dirty anti-shotter. Oh, you're this, you're that.
The terminology is very similar.
When they started World War II, they literally, so at first they vilified sick people. And then they said that all Jewish people are disease-ridden sick people. Mm-hmm. And that's how it began. Mm-hmm. And so it starts when you identify a group and you immediately cast them to the side. And that's what they've done with this whole pure blood and anti-shot and the whole, venated. There's the problem, is that they're creating it's the same, look, man, the same playbook's been used since before Christ. So we just know to look at it.
Hang on. I love that you respect Marc, because he does do a lot of collabs with a lot of minorities. The problem is, these are people that he just does stuff with. The problem is, I think that people like Mike Jones here, you're stuck. You're more racist than anybody else. You're stuck seeing race. I've never heard Marc even once talk. Marc does not introduce people to me as my black friend. I just like he doesn't. We don't text like, hey, we're gonna meet up with this person. He's Arab. It's not. That's not. He just has friends, dude. People like you get caught up in this shit. Like, do you hate him because he's given me opportunity too, and has done collabs with me, and we're in business together too? Like, that's the fucked up thing. It's just a people thing, dude. Like, it's he. You know who Marc gives opportunities to? People. They're going to take them and work hard. It's just that's the thing. Like, don't be caught up in this bullshit. This is the tool that is used to separate people. Like, get past it. It's the same thing. Like, Marc's both of us have gay people in our circle. There's
not that kind of circle.
Yeah, not that kind of circle, but one of my business partners in a different venture is a gay dude, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just people, bro. It's just that's the thing. Like, racism exists because there's stupid people that see race. You just happen to be one of them. You just don't get it.
It's melanin. At the end of the day, it's because your ancestors were in a very hot area. And I'm white as hell and get skin cancer because my relatives were in a very cloudy area. And here we are. You're darker pigment and I'm lighter pigment. And that shouldn't affect how you view somebody. And it never will for me. I mean, it never will.
Adam and Eve technically weren't necessarily black. They would be brown.
I think the white Jesus is the thing that I historically can't bring myself to look at and agree with. Not that I care. Not that it's an issue, but like nobody was white in the Middle East at that time. Nobody. They didn't have air conditioned tents. Like,
no, it's so fucking ridiculous. Like if you look at where like the Bible takes place at, like there's no white people. You know, like there's not, and I know that now we're upset. Now we're upsetting the Christians too.
Well, Christians should be upset. They got this white dude. He had hair of wool. How the fuck do you look at the Bible? Oh, he has hair of wool. And then they got this dude who's got like a fucking heavy metal haircut. Like what the fuck? Like how is that?
Like Fabio.
We need black Jesus. We need like, dude. So did you see the Kanye West documentary yet?
No,
it's so good. Jesus. If you guys haven't seen it, if you still have Netflix, which I do, I never canceled them because honestly, I'd have nothing to watch if I canceled it. I'm just call me a sellout. The cuties thing. Okay. We'll look past it because they put Chappelle on there. Right? I think it cancels out.
You know what? It's freedom. Now that is actually the thing for me. It's freedom. As long as it's freedom of speech, as long as you're going to present everything everybody should have. I do think that it's like child porn. But you know, like,
it is. I mean, so anyway, so Kanye, the guy he put in as Jesus, he needed a mixed color person. He needed white and black. So the guy's like, I'm Jesus because I'm mixed. It was just it's so Kanye because Kanye didn't want a pure black Jesus. He didn't want a pure white Jesus. And that's how Kanye's mind works. By the way, if you haven't seen that documentary, it is amazing. So good. Dude, he's the hardest working man. The guy literally like he couldn't get he was known as just a writer, a producer, and he literally such inspiration. He walks in and he's like, I'm just gonna go in Jay-Z's office, start rapping with him. I'm like, holy shit, this guy, I want my kids to watch this video. So good. And then how the media ostracized him because he came out as pro-life. And they're like, oh, he's crazy. And he is kind of crazy. He is crazy, but his points are valid. And then they're watching Tucker Carlson. He's in the car watching Tucker. And his friend's like, turn that off. That's negative. And he's like, hold on. And so he's like, dude, this is fucking facts. This is truth. And it's where the intersection takes place, where it becomes about ideas and not about tribalism. Mm-hmm. Where Tucker Carlson and Kanye can agree.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is, and back to this whole thing as a whole. You know, we were because this is conversation with Marc and I. It just goes in fucking 1,000 different directions. You know, when we were talking about the gun thing and gun control. Like, just to be real, any law about guns is unconstitutional.
Yes.
Just like any law prohibiting the freedom of whatever religion you want to follow is also unconstitutional.
Freedom of speech. There's no hate speech. There's no such thing. I don't care if you walk up to me on the street, you call me a filthy kike. You're taking a risk of getting your ass kicked, and then I'd be legally liable. I mean, but you're allowed to say that. My reaction is and most likely I'll just laugh at you because to me that'd be funny as fuck, and I'd probably record it because it would go viral as fuck. But there's I never. Words don't hurt. Whatever happened to sticks and stones break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I was called such bad things, and I still am. Being on the internet, it's just something you do. It's something you deal with. But at the end of the day, man, you just have to be confident in yourself, and that's where you're gonna love this. I'm bringing it back. That's where having a strong father comes into play. I had a message. I don't want to read it because it would give away who is this guy is like. I want to train. My kid wants to train. And my initial thing is you hire a trainer, someone professional who can teach him how to train, all that good stuff. And he's like, well, I don't have the money to go there. I'm going through a bad divorce. His kid's going to school. He's out of shape. He's getting bullied. The kids at school told him to kill himself. His life isn't worth it. And this dad is panicked. So he messages me, and I'm like, whatever you can do, say, my wife just said my son's friend is coming over, so I have to keep it PG. So, I told this guy, I'm like, look, dude, I'm like, you get him out here, get him to our facility. We'll train him for free, like for a week, but a strong father. And look, man, you're going to get bullied in school. Like my kids have been fortunate that we're known in our community, and Thomas had an issue and we squashed it right away when he was undersized. Now he's bigger now. And the good news is it was squashed. I talked to the parents, everything's good, but that's it. I talked to the parents. I talked to the principal. I talked to the kids. And I said, look, here's why we can't do this, son. And that was me talking to another kid. A strong man pops in when someone, and I've been in the principal's office 400 times with Thomas. The kid talks a lot of shit. Like he's kind of a jerk. But so if you guys saw the email about him telling his teachers, Paul, Katie does not go into the school. Katie, I handle all of the school stuff. I handle all of the conversation with other parents, with principals, because in my opinion, that's a man thing to do. That's a paternal thing to do. You take leadership and you drive your family forward. When I'm traveling, obviously Katie steps in and does a phenomenal job. But even though Katie is CEO material, in the running of our family, it's understood that if our kids do something that requires some disciplining or some conversation, that I step in. And this dad from Indiana, he literally he's seeing something that his kid can literally is risking killing himself, right? Like, because you get told that by enough kids, it's gonna completely just destroy you emotionally and mentally. But he's like, how do I fix this? I need to get my kid in the gym. I need to get my kids stronger and bigger and whatever it is. So a lot of these things that we're talking about, gun violence in Chicago, talking about why do kids not take guns seriously? My kids play Grand Theft Auto, but when we go to the shooting range and we show them how powerful that gun is, and we tell them what that gun can do, and we teach them gun safety, and we teach them here's how you cock it, here's how you load it, here's how you put the safety on and off. So that's where men come in. So until we figure out how to make men again, our society is doomed. Oh no, we lost Alan. Okay, he'll come back. Anyway, guys, let's see if we get any questions here while we're figuring out where Alan went. Everybody good? If you can still hear me. Yeah, firearm safety is most definitely important. Most definitely important. It's critical. It's critical to everything. Just teaching these kids about how powerful and how dangerous firearms are. I got you guys. We'll go about another 5 minutes. All right. So I'll just go open Q&A. Oh, here we go. Oh, he's trying to come in. I think he's connecting his devices. So you're right. We should not expect police officers to deal with mental health situations. They're not trained for that. Like they're trained for rudimentary things, but you can't expect all cops to have a law degree. So I had a great conversation with two of my cop friends at the gym this morning. Took too long. I was at the gym too long, wasted a lot of time that I could have been working. But, the thing is, they do their best. And most cops are in it for the right reasons. There's good and bad cops like any situation. But you can't expect cops to know how to deal with these mental situations. And it's such spur of the moment. Usually they don't have the opportunity to handle these situations because it's already too late. Let's see. Yep. The best way to prevent firearm issues is to teach kids about firearms and tell them about the risk and the reward of firearms. Firearms to protect yourself, teach about the Second Amendment, and also teach them that this is a dangerous weapon and a huge responsibility. And teach them gun safety. Genosaurus. My father took me shooting when I was young and really established healthy respect. Yep. Your father, he's a good man. He's a good man. Oh, there's Alan. There we go.
What's good?
All right, we're back. So we're just talking about guns now. But we'll go here. No morbidity. Oh, that's the wrong one. Whoops. It moved while I was clicking it. No morbidity. Alan, you've been getting so many messages about no morbidity.
Well, we really have. It's been amazing so far. Like lots and lots and lots of people have very, very, very good results from it, man. Like, I mean, I'm super happy that because we tested it out on me and a few other people, but I'm so happy with the results we've gotten from it. Like, I think it's helped out so many people so far. A ton of my clients are using it, and I've seen fabulous results. And the best part about that, dude, is my clients aren't like your clients. My clients are people that just need help with their lifestyle. Like, actually, like nobody's trying to get ready for the stage. You know, people are just trying to get a hold of their lifestyle. You know, and we have people that are, you know, finally, able to not. To not binge on a weekly basis and stuff like that. It's done so much, so good. I mean, like hundreds of messages already. So very happy, dude. Very happy. Lots of people extremely happy. The biggest thing that we got people wondering about is when they can, when we'll be back up again. I've been telling them 5 to 6 weeks from now, because it does take a while. And we were very, very, very happy that a lot of people ordered it right off the bat, but it did mean so that a lot of people that wanted to try it that didn't get it the first day missed out. But hey, Mike Rashid, what's going on?
That's my man. Yep. We need to teach people about how powerful and dangerous guns are. And until we can actually do that, we're going to have these issues. If their only experience with firearms is playing a video game, that's a huge problem.
Well,
that's a huge problem.
It's a disassociation because, like, when you're shooting at your friends on, and talking shit while shooting them online all the time, that's another thing too, man. Like this virtual reality stuff is going to make that even worse, if you ask me. The disassociation it is with. Oh
my God, yeah.
With reality, you know.
You're absolutely correct. So that's my opinion on guns, and if you're against guns, okay, but there's a reason we have it. It's a right that shall not be infringed. So I think right there's really no argument to be have. If you don't want to have guns, don't have them. If you do want to have guns, it's your right to have guns. And I'm again, like,
well, they always go through the school shootings too, dude. And like my thing is, then if we're going to give up guns, I want the politicians to give up the ones that protect them first.
Yes. How come they're allowed to be? Oh, there's a provision for bodyguards because all of us can afford $500 an hour bodyguards. Yeah. I mean, did you see the budget that BLM had for bodyguards? It was like insane. Millions of dollars.
Insane.
And it happened to be her brother. But nonetheless, that's besides the point. And I think that that's fine that BLM should be able to, write off bodyguards. Like, obviously some people really dislike them, right? Like any large, and I believe politicians should have armed guards, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be like, well, I can be protected, but hey, you can't unless you can afford private security.
Well, I mean, I just don't understand how when the response for any possible thing, like we're worried about politicians, we make sure they have more armed guards. We're worried about, these people, we make sure they have more armed guards. But we're worried about kids and we give them a gun-free zone. Like, that's just crazy talk.
Our schools are not a gun-free zone. We have multiple sheriffs on every campus in my community.
That's how it should be.
I love it. First time we moved here, I felt so good. Mm-hmm. I felt so good. Coming in here and just seeing, just going in and there was the officer right there and I talked to him and I'm like, this makes me feel safe. And it does. And I talked to the police officers at the gym today and I told them, people always cry to defund the police until they need the police.
Yep. And
that's the thing. I mean, you can't have it both ways. I personally back the police, but there's some things that, schools being gated won't solve anything because gates get opened. So at our school, not only do you have to be buzzed in and show ID and have a reason for being there through 2 doors, but you have armed guards. And this is the safest city in Tennessee. So let me see. Let's do 1 or 2 more. This is a good one. What gun should a beginner buy? A good gun, if you're looking for home defense, the MPX I just fired this weekend, it's a 9mm. It's extremely easy to operate, use, assemble, disassemble. The easiest gun to have from a user standpoint is a revolver. Again, a revolver can be in the ocean for 400 years. You pick it up and it'll shoot just fine.
Yep.
So, a revolver is my first gun, and it's still my favorite gun is the LCR I currently own. I also have a Smith & Wesson M&P. If you're going for a 9mm, a Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 is a very good gun, but you will have to go to the range and you will have to teach yourself or be taught how to use a semi-automatic weapon.
And make sure you get the basics on, like, take a good class on safety and on how to clean it and on how to maintain it and stuff like that. I mean, it depends on what you want it for too. Like I love hunting, and my father still shoots competitively on long meter competitions. So, like, it's something where it depends on what you're looking for. I mean, if you are looking for a beginner, like a first gun for security, what Marc said, absolutely.
Shotguns are easy. You load, you pump, you shoot. I mean, it's pretty simple. But
Sounds
on that
like
note, guys. Yeah, except the shotgun takes longer to load.
Yeah.
At least for me. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll be doing probably Tuesdays and Thursdays look to be my days. That'll work out. Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at Legacy at Carbon. If you're not following either of us, Alan, where are you at?
I'm Alan Roberts on YouTube, and I'm also the MFing COO on Instagram and Twitter.
Yep, and I'm Marc Lobliner, except of course on YouTube. Tiger Fitness. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it, Alan. Thanks for I was 3 minutes late and I apologize for that.
No problem, man. I'm sorry about the little power surge thing. So we'll talk soon.
Take care.
Bye, guys.